Hey sparklers, how we doing? So if you don't know me, I am Empress Sparkle. I have been a witch for 26 years. I am also a clairvoyant since birth, so 40 years. And I am also a tarot reader of 22 years and much more. Energy cleansing, the lot. So if you don't know me, that is what I do. And I bring videos to you to educate you on things around this spiritually, to help you, to guide you, and hopefully to help you find your own path. So do subscribe, do like, and do comment what you would like to actually hear about and know about. Today I am bringing to you, I apologize, the different points of chakras on our body, etc., and how they can actually help you and guide you through life.
Empress Sparkle, guardian soul, you turn my fear into gold. Here in your light, I unfold. Empress Sparkle, soft and strong, you make me feel I belong. Safe in your circle, I grow.
We have 7 different points on our body called chakras. These are energy forces within our body. So they are energy forces within our body because everyone's body has energy. For myself, I do class our soul as an 8th energy source, and to be honest, the main energy source. That does make my Reiki a little different, which is why I call it energy cleansing. So if you go across to my website, you'll find it's on there as energy cleansing rather than actually Reiki. This is the reason why. So I've been asked to do this video by some amazing sparklers to explain energy, the different chakras to you, basically, because they want to understand a bit more about them. So, and what they affect and how it can help you by getting them in line, because that is one of the things that we want. Unlike most, I don't start with a chakra, crown chakra, which is your top chakra. And the reason for this is because the most important part of the chakras is actually the root chakra, and that's our grounding. And it's a bit like our legs, it's our support system, it's our foundation to our building. So that is why I always start with that, and that is at our tailbone. If that isn't in line, the rest of you just won't, because as I says, it's our foundation, and that is the important thing to understand, is that it gives us stability in life and helps us balance. So our grounding chakra is actually, for me, connected to Mother Gaia. If you can see behind me, you'll see the altars, and I worship the Greek gods. So for me, Mother Gaia is one of the most important gods, as she gave birth to more or less everything, along with chaos. When this is off, you can struggle with the feeling similar to depression or even fear. So when this is off, it can cause that, because we're unbalanced, so we're wobbly. So when we go into situations, including financial ones, it just makes us that little bit wobbly and struggle with it, struggle to decide how to get, how to sort it. Its colour is red, so it's not angry, but like the core of the earth. So we need to remember that it's more like the core of the earth and stuff like that. So that is the best way to example it. Simple things can help us rebuild it. So things like touching the earth will rebuild that chakra, and that'll help us to stop feeling stuck. If we're unable to complete tasks, etc., this will help us with that and everything. So ways to help it stay clear. Direct connection with Mother Gaia is one of the most important. Meditation, if you've been around here long enough, I am always on about meditation, always. all the time. Movement, so a bit of a dance, bit of a boogie, or even something simple like yoga, tai chi, etc. Visualizing a red light, so visualizing a red light at the bottom of our spine, so at our tailbone, that can also actually help this. So that can actually also help us to be able to build that up a bit. Saying positive things to yourself, so when you're in situations, saying that you are safe, you are grounded, reminding yourself of them things. Certain crystals, so garnet, black onyx, bloodstone, bronzite, all available on my website. I will just say that. Do go and check that out. There is many more as well. They're just the ones which are available on my website. So obviously I want to sort of, boost that a little bit. If you do want to check my website out, it is linked down below in the description. You will notice that most of these as well are for protection or reflecting negative energy. So most of them crystals are also for that, which is absolutely brilliant for that area that we need. The next chakra is our sacred chakra. Now this one is, for me, I always say where the womb is for women. But this one for me is just above our pubic bone. For me personally, this one actually links to our goddess Aphrodite. Yes, I know you're going to say, but isn't that the love chakra? Not for me, and I will explain this. For me personally, this one links to Aphrodite. She is the goddess of love and beauty, and this one is about, having everything in line, our self-care, our obviously intimacy, etc. So this is why that's very, very important on this chakra. This chakra is orange. It is actually linked with water, which makes sense when you think that our reproductive organs are there, and when we think about them, there's a lot of liquid and stuff like that. Why did I say that? But then also it's linked to our bladder and our kidneys when you think about the fact that urination happens there as well. If this chakra isn't in line, you may struggle with sexual relationships, you may struggle with pleasure, you may struggle with joy, and even creativity. So these are the things that you may actually struggle with if that is not in line. If this one, again, it can show you as depressed, again, if it's blocked. It can also show you detached, so you may not be as emotionally ready to be involved with anyone, because intimacy, we think of it as just a sexual thing, but it actually isn't. Intimacy is a relationship with our children, it's a relationship with our family, it's a relationship with our friends. Intimacy is all of that. So you may find feeling detached with them. You may also find that you have fear. So if it is actually a struggle, you may find it is fear. You may also have poor boundaries. And there is much more. There's also other signs as well. So you may have UTIs, you may have hormonal issues, and many more. Ways to help us keep this clear is soaking into bath, because obviously it's a water, it's connected with water. So soaking in the bath. Also, a good diet. So a good diet is very important. Self-care, so looking after ourselves. And I don't just mean, when I say self-care, keeping ourselves clean, etc. I mean self-care as in taking the time out to meditate. I mean self-care as in doing something for you. That sort of thing as well can really be helped in this, situation of unblocking and keeping it unblocked. Visualizing a bright orange light there. It's absolutely beautiful light. It loves to be as bright as it can be. So that is another way that you can actually help in it. Saying positive things like it's okay to feel that. So knowing that it's okay, knowing that it's normal to feel that, knowing that there's not a problem with that. Being more creative as well. So this doesn't mean being more creative as in just going off and doing some art and stuff like that. Creativity comes in many different forms, and I mean many different forms, and we need to remember that. So it could be being spontaneous, anything like that, anything that's creative. Movement, of course, movement. We've got, keeping on the go. And carrying certain crystals can help. So again, some of these are available on my website. We have leopard skin jasper. We have golden tiger's eye. So I have blue tiger's eye on my website, which will be spoke about soon. But also golden tiger's eye. Garnet, because obviously garnet's for passion, and and many more. There is other ones as well. We have got now, this next chakra is the hardest chakra, and it's even one which I struggle with to keep in line. And it's at our stomach, so it does also do things like digestion, etc. For me personally, this does link with Apollon, so the god Apollon, which you can see nicely there, peeping over my shoulder. And the reason why it does link with Apollon is because, one, he is sunlight, so he brings us the sun, but also the fact that it links with him through healing. So it links with him through healing, because we have to do a lot of healing on this one. We have to do a lot of kindness on this one for ourselves. This chakra is linked with fire, so it is linked with the element fire, as well as helping with digestion, liver, etc. It does all that. It's an amazing chakra, absolutely amazing. If this chakra is out of line, you may have digestion issues, you may have lack of confidence, low self-esteem, and the hardest of them all is you may have the victim mentality. Now, the reason why I say victim mentality is the hardest to clear off. And that is because nothing is your fault, etc. So you may have that sort of thoughts and stuff going on in your head. So ways to help this stay clear and be clear all the time. Good diet. That's a bit obvious with digestion, isn't it? But also food colours. So this is something I've not mentioned before, but food colours can help as well. So yellow foods like banana, ginger, turnips, etc. They can actually all help with this chakra. So a good diet is really, really important. Getting plenty of sun, as you can see the sun, Apollon's light coming through there. So getting plenty of sun, so vitamin D is really important for this chakra as well. Meditation, again, moving, visualizing a bright yellow light at that place. I can feel mine slightly out of line because I've got the butterflies. Setting boundaries is really important for this one. So because of the fact it can bring self-esteem issues, etc. So setting boundaries with people is really important for this one. And the reason it is because setting boundaries actually lifts our self-esteem. It lifts all of that up. It helps us to be able to move on with things, etc. So that is really actually important with that one. So the sort of things you can say to yourself to help you with this is you are strong, you are comfortable. You could say you are comfortable, you are confident, you are beautiful. I am not part of their story. They are part of my journey. So these sort of things are the stuff that you can sort of say to help you actually rebuild and etc. that chakra. Crystals that are great to carry for the chakra is Brazilian natural citrine. I always get that one wrong. I don't know why, and I sell it, so that's really bad. Yellow calcite, tiger's eye again, and there is many more. And when I say tiger's eye, not blue tiger's eye, golden tiger's eye. I know the next one is the one you thought would be the hardest to help, and that is the heart chakra. So this one, it's not the fact of it's the hardest to keep in line. Once you've got it in line, once you've got it sorted, it's quite easy, but it does carry the most pain, and it's Easier than the solar though to get back in line, a lot easier. For me, this links with Hera, our beautiful queen goddess Hera. And this is because of her willing to love, her willing to forgive, etc. This is actually in the center of your chest. So a lot of people put it where the heart is, but it's actually in the center of your chest. It's also green. So a lot of people say it's pink, but it's actually not. It's actually green. And that is one thing that shocks people when I say that. So it is a beautiful, when you look at it, do picture a green light there when you want to bring it up and you want to feel that self-love and you want to feel that care. And just like the goddess Hera, this chakra is linked with the air, as she is the queen of the sky, and we can't forget that. I have added in on my notes that she's, Zeus's wife, but, we'll give her her own duty. We're not just going to par her in as Zeus's wife, but sadly that is the way most people know her. It is also a link between the spiritual chakras and the real world chakras. So everything from here up is quite spiritual, so it can lead us into the spiritual world, whereas here down is reality, it's life, it's everything. So it's sort of like our one which links us between both, because that is the first one to feel the heartbreak when we lose someone and they go to the spiritual realm. So that is one of the things that actually links all. And I think that's actually something I've never seen someone discuss in a video before about chakras. So I think it's an important part of it to explain. It holds one of the most important loves here. So it's not just love for our family, it's not just love for our friends, etc. It holds the most important love, and that is self-love. Because if we can't love ourselves, how do we love others? And that is the truth. And if you haven't checked it out, I do have an amazing video with the dancing goddess Diana on self-love, so do go check that out, because I think you'll thoroughly enjoy learning about that and understanding that. But also love for others. So as it says, it holds love for others. It also holds empathy, forgiveness and connection. So one of the things I will just explain, I don't believe in forgiveness for others, I believe in forgiveness for you, and that is one of the most important parts of life, is actually to forgive yourself. Because if you can't forgive yourself, how are you meant to forgive others? And that is the truth, and when I say forgiveness for yourself, I think I need to explain that a little bit. There might need to be another video on that. So if you want that, do comment below and I will do another video on that and explain that. So if you're struggling to get this in line, you may not feel love for yourself. So you may struggle to feel love for yourself, but you may also feel loneliness, emotional detachment. So feeling a bit numb, not really wanting to have anything to do with anyone, but yet you feel detached from people, grief and much more. So ways to help this stay clear, of course, meditation. My girls will be like, oh, really? She's mentioned meditation again. I do have some guided meditations on here, so if you want to check them out, do check them out. Forgiveness for yourself, loving yourself, sharing kindness. So not sharing love, but sharing kindness. And kindness can look like you're being harsh, but you're actually not. You're caring, you're sharing that kindness. Visualizing a green light in your chest, showing empathy. But be careful with empathy, because some people will take advantage of you showing empathy. So do be careful of that, my lovelies. Understanding your own emotions. So understanding your own emotions, understanding why you're feeling that way in that time, etc. So understanding all that, my lovelies. So crystals that you can carry that will help you with this chakra. Rose quartz, which is linked with Aphrodite, I know, but still rose quartz. Jade is amazing for this chakra, to be honest, and so is selenite. And there is many more. Again, ones mentioned are on my website. Well, now we are on one of the easiest ones to line, which is the throat chakra. And this one is at our voice box. I pressed on it a bit too much then, so it made me sound like a robot. This to me is linked to Hermes. I know you'll Google it and they're completely different from what I'm saying. But honestly, if you look at the myths and you actually connect with these gods, you'll understand why I'm saying it. And the reason why is because he's the messenger of the gods. So he gives the messages. He even for me brings me the messages of the dead in the light. And this is the thing. He's the one that does it for us. He is the only god allowed in the underworld, other than obviously Hades. And this is where we start to get our line mixed in between earthbound and spiritual realm. This gateway aligns with our truth, honesty, listening. Oh, I bet that one shocked you. If you want to understand why it's linked with listening, comment down below. And much more. If you find this is blocked, this can be shown by shyness, struggling to feel like you're being heard, and even throat issues. So like lymph nodes not draining, thyroid issues and stuff like that. Ways to help this keep clear? Of course, meditation. Visualizing a blue light at the voice box and making it as bright as you can. Sounds, so different frequency on sounds and stuff like that. So this is one of the things that I've been learning about recently, and that can really help you. Singing, even if you can't sing, if you're like me and you can't sing, have a sing. La 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 la. Something as simple as that helps you to break that throat chakra. Also using certain words. So I speak my truth. My voice has power. And things along that line. I'm willing to listen. I want to be heard. It don't matter if they don't listen to me. You know, them sort of things. I know my sparkler that's pointed at knows who she is. Crystals that can help with this is blue banded agate, blue tiger's eye, blue fox cat's eye, lapis howler, and many more. Again, I've named the ones which are on my website. So next we get to the first true spiritual chakra, which everyone knows, which is our third eye. And this one is not actually in between your eyebrows, as everyone says. So this one is actually down here below our brain in the pineal gland. So basically when we actually do this, we've got a picture of light coming from in our brain there all the way to where our third eye is classed as. It's not actually where people think. This for me is linked to the goddess Hecate. And the reason why it's linked to our beautiful goddess Hecate is because she's the only one allowed in all three realms. Technically, Hermes is as well. But for me personally, it more explains for her. And I will explain a little bit why it more explains for her is because she's the goddess of the crossroads. So that's sort of like the meeting place for the dead, which is what we're doing when we're opening that up, is the meeting place. It is also the fact that she is also a guardian. So I think I have that fact as well, that she's also a guardian. So even though this does cross paths with many other gods and goddesses, as I said already, Hermes, there is also Hypnos, which is the god of sleep, because when we go into meditation and we use our third eye during meditation to be able to see things, it is also him. Apollon, the god of clairvoyance, because Apollon, as well as, they all have many different traits, by the way, guys. He is the god of clairvoyance, so because this chakra is linked to our intuition, etc., he's got to be in there. And then we have Dionysus. And the only reason the reason why I say him is because he's the god of resurrection. And also I need to say about Hecate is she's actually the goddess of necromancy, which back in the day was classed as speaking to the dead. It wasn't classed as what it is now, where it's, you know, bringing the dead back to life. It was actually speaking to the dead. So this is why I've sort of said this. It is what helps us see things that are not there. Not my quotation mark. This is another thing that Hecate does for us. She actually lights the torch so we can actually see the way. Apollon helps us to see the rest of the way, but she actually lights the torch to see the way. It helps us have clear intuition, imagination, clarity, and so much more. But also this may also explain why it links with Dionysus. A lot of people that I meet with a clairvoyant gift that haven't accepted their gift or haven't accepted their gift or haven't learned how to use it correctly, they do have a lot of mental health issues. So, you know, you can go insane. And he is actually the god of insanity. So I think that is why also my spirit guides have linked him. So do be careful as you open up this chakra. Do be careful, because you will be stuck in between what is real and what is not real. So do be cautious there. What is in this, what is classed as real and what is classed as not real? I'm actually going to reword that. It is an indigo light, so when we picture it, it is a beautiful indigo light between the purple and blue. So now you may understand colour coordination that we can't see. So actually indigo, sometimes sort of more violet, sometimes mine comes through, which weirdly enough humans only see 0.0035% of the light spectrum. And we can't see ultraviolet. So it's sort of like interlinking there, if you think about it. And if you want actually to see this in more depth, do check out my paranormal podcast where I discuss with Craig about this, about how it actually changes, etc. And how the light is most probably the reason we can see spirits is because we see the lights different. What can you do to help and clear any blockages? Now, let go of fear. Most people I speak to actually are afraid of seeing the dead. They're afraid of seeing spirits, etc. So one of the things is letting go of the fear. It's okay. They can harm you, but they can't harm you just for you seeing them and acknowledging them. There's not as much harm going on there. Let go of doubt, so questioning yourself like, should I be really thinking that? Is that my intuition, or is that just me wanting it to be that way? So letting go of doubt is a big thing as well. Meditation. Who would have guessed that I'd say meditation? Visualizing an indigo light. So visualizing an indigo light at the center of your eyes, coming from your pineal gland, coming out at the center of your eyes. Saying things to yourself like, I trust myself, I can see clearly, and much more. So crystals that can help with this: amethyst, purple agate, lapis, clear quartz, and many, many more. Many, many more. Only saying them ones again. Last and not least is the crown chakra. So this is right on top of our head. Right on top of our head. And it is the highest link between the highest realms. So as well as knowledge, wisdom, and universal conscious, which is really hard because I was like, I need to link this to Zeus, which it is linked to Zeus. But at the same time, I'm like, that links to Athena, like, because she's the goddess of wisdom and knowledge. So it does, and I am a nightmare. I love the more knowledge and wisdom I can get. I love it. Obviously, Zeus is the one that I've sort of forced myself to link it with. But I do also link it with Athena. And this is the problem with the gods and goddesses, because they have lots of epithets. I may have still said that wrong. Because of that, it sort of gives us a lot of places that we can go and link things to. The crown is right on top of the head. It's a purple light, will glow, go up to join the gods and goddesses on Mount Olympus, well, into the heavens, into the sky. As everything has an element, this one only researched that it is consciousness, because I had to research this one. I was like, what element is that to? It's consciousness. I don't think I mentioned the chakras, actually, element. So the purple chakra is air, and I can't think what the indigo is. I haven't noted that down, so I will put that down in the comments. This is separate thought that we from our physical body. So this is one thing that they've actually researched, and actually Amy from the Big Bang Theory, Miriam as she's actually known in real life, actually had an amazing video on this with a doctor where he says about that they've started to research that actually the consciousness may actually be its own being. And I love that video, so do go check her out. She has some amazing guests on there. So if this comes blocked, you may lack focus, spiritual disconnection, so you may struggle to know where you belong spiritually, so which gods and goddesses you should be working with, etc. You may feel depression and much more. What can you do to unblock this? Again, letting go of fear. Letting go of fear. Fear actually for the spiritual chakras is the main reason I find that they're blocked, is people are so afraid. Taking as much knowledge as you can, so learn. There, you can never have too much knowledge, and even if that knowledge fights against each other, that's the best sort of knowledge you can have. Of course, meditation. Visualizing a purple light from the top of your head reaching the sky. Good food. Lighting incense, so like lavender, sandalwood, etc., can actually really help with that one. Carrying crystals such as clear quartz, selenite, amethyst, and there is many more. So I haven't gone into as much detail as I could. I will admit that I haven't gone as much detail as I could for them all, or in the one that I class as the 8th, which is the soul. But if you would like to hear more about this, have more lessons on this, etc., and what I've learned so far, we never ever learn everything fully in the spiritual realm. If anyone tells you they fully understand everything in the spiritual realm, run. No one does. I've been doing this 40 years. I've been doing this 22 years. I started back in 90s. You know what I mean? Around the craft days is when I started. And this is a thing, Charmed, Buffy, all of that. I've been going so many years. And this is why it's really important that you guys understand that not everyone is showing what they should, and they aren't being who they actually are. So please don't forget that. So if you need any more information, do comment below, do let me know. There is so much I could talk more about on each. This is sort of just an easy guidance. It's already been nearly over half an hour on this video, so you can see how much more there is to actually say on them. And remember, everyone's spiritual path's different. So just because this is how I connect with the gods and goddesses, it may not be how you connect with the gods and goddesses. So this needs to be an important fact, because everyone seems to be forgetting that. And it is really important that you guys know that it could be a different form. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart, honestly, for watching this and watching it all the way through. I am so grateful for you all. and it means the world for me. Don't forget, like and comment. I'm not even going to say subscribe, but like and comment are the most biggest parts also of watching these videos and helping me grow as a creator here on YouTube. So I'd be so grateful if you wouldn't mind smashing that like and comment. You can't really smash the comments. Smashing the like button and letting me know what you think down below. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, and don't forget, keep sparkling.